Why they hate them, the history of the NRL's most bitter rivalry, Broncos versus Cowboys. What if the deepest scars in a sport are carved not by defeat, but by the land itself? The Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane hums under a bruised Queensland sky, where the Brisbane Broncos and North Queensland Cowboys prepare to clash once more in a rivalry that bleeds geography, pride, and history. Please like, share, and subscribe for more sport talk content. It begins in 1995 when the Cowboys, born in the red dust of Townsville, enter the NRL as wide-eyed underdogs, mocked by Southern giants and even by their own state's capital. Brisbane, sleek and corporate, wears maroon like royalty. The Broncos are the NRL's golden child, bankrolled by media empires and blessed with superstars. North Queensland, raw and rugged, carries the calloused hands of cattle stations and the salt of the Coral Sea. Their jersey is a map of forgotten highways and endless horizons. The first meeting is lopsided, Broncos 48, Cowboys 4, but the scoreboard lies. Something fiercer is seated in the humiliation. Every derby becomes a referendum on identity. City versus country, privilege versus perseverance, the haves against the have-nots wearing boots. The crowds swell with tribal fury. Brisbane fans wave inflatable bananas in mockery of banana benders up north, while Townsville retaliates with toy cows and chants that echo like thunder across the Burdekin. By 2015, the hatred has fermented into legend, culminating in the grand final, a night when the Cowboys finally dragged the Broncos into the dust. The score is locked at 16-all after 80 minutes. Extra time looms like judgment. Jonathan Thurston, limping on a shattered shoulder, lines up a sideline conversion that will decide the premiership. The kick wobbles, kisses the post, and falls through. Townsville erupts, Brisbane crumples, and a state splits open along the Tropic of Capricorn. Thurston collapses to his knees, kissing the turf as if thanking the earth for holding him upright. The stadium is a cauldron of ecstasy and agony. Cowboys fans weep openly while Broncos supporters stand frozen, unable to process the theft of destiny. In that instant, the rivalry crystallizes. It is no longer about points, but about proof. Who belongs? Who endures? The image of Thurston's tear-streaked face becomes the Cowboys' Mona Lisa, reprinted on murals from Cairns to Cloncurry. Word spreads like wildfire through pub televisions and midnight radio. Social media ignites with slow-motion heartbreak and jubilation. Headlines scream, "The kick that killed Brisbane." Talkback lines melt under the weight of decades-old grudges finally vindicated. Yet beneath the venom, something tender emerges. Queenslanders, divided by one team 300 kilometers, realize they are bound by the same stubborn sun. Historians trace the feud to deeper roots, colonial promises broken in the north, economic tides that always favored the southeast, a sense that Townsville was forever Brisbane's younger sibling. The NRL becomes a stage where these ancient grievances play out in shoulder charges and sidesteps. Each tackle carries the echo of drought, of flooded roads, of kids who grew up idolizing the Broncos only to be told they'd never be good enough. The aftermath lingers in small gestures. Broncos players refusing to swap jerseys, Cowboys fans burning maroon scarves in car park bonfires. But time softens edges. By 2025, the rivalry is less hatred and more sacred ritual, a biannual cleansing of the soul. Still, when the fixtures are released, calendars are marked in blood red ink, and children are warned not to wear the wrong colors to school. This feud reveals the beauty of sport's darker emotions, how rage can refine into respect, how loss can birth unbreakable loyalty. It teaches that identity is not given. It is wrestled from the red dirt and carried in the heart like a scar that never quite fades. In a world of fleeting alliances, the Broncos-Cowboys saga reminds us that some bonds are forged in opposition. It speaks to the human need to belong, to prove worth against a mirror that reflects our insecurities. Sportsmanship here is not polite applause. It is surviving the furnace of disdain and emerging whole. And for every child in a dusty backyard, the rivalry whispers, your postcode does not decide your destiny. Thurston, years later in a quiet interview, reflects, I never hated the Broncos. I just needed them to see us. Broncos legend Darren Lockyer admits, we underestimated their heart. That loss taught us humility the way no win ever could. Cowboys captain Tom Dearden, born long after 2015, says softly, we don't play for hate anymore. We play for the kid in the cape who believes Townsville can be kings. As the credits of history roll, the rivalry endures, not as venom, but as a love letter written in bruises. One day, the banners will fade and the players retire, but the story of city and country locked in eternal dance will echo in Queensland's red earth forever. And somewhere, beneath stadium lights or beneath stars, two teams will run out once more, carrying the weight of a state's divided heart and its unbreakable spirit.